Let's try. And we are recording. I have the honor and pleasure of sitting down and taking a couple of minutes from Miss Meadows. Sarah, if you would, please introduce yourself. Tell folks about you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Meadows. I'm a senior at Clemson University. While I've been at Clemson, I've done a lot of research on various things, but more importantly, what I'm going to be focusing on today is that I started Women's Weightlifting Club just 2-ish years ago at Clemson, and it's actually lead me to kind of start another club, Clemson Yoga Club as well. So we can get into that, but yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, so we got weightlifting and yoga. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Okay, so especially since you said you're a senior there, what made you even gravitate toward doing something like that? It's not the norm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's not the norm. I think that, I've had such a interest in belonging and inclusion on college campuses. I even did some research about it. It's actually the poster behind here. But so when I was a freshman, I think I just didn't really feel like I belonged anywhere, and I would go to the gym and I would kind of feel like that's something that I want to be involved in. I want that to be part of my identity. But it was hard because I didn't feel like super welcome to join any weightlifting groups. And I know that a bunch of women felt the same way. I mean, you'd go into the gym and they'd be like, almost like it's like we're supposed to be embarrassed about our existence at the
Right.
gym because we can't bench 300 pounds. And it's like, no, like that is so backwards. So, um, yeah, I started. So we that led me to really just start the Women's Weightlifting Club. And thankfully, I had a really great friend, Maggie Burris, who kind of helped me along the way. And so we kind of just started it and started telling people about it and would hope that it would take off. And we actually got so much more engagement than we ever expected. People were really, at first, they were like, oh, that's weird, like a women's weightlifting club. Like I've never heard, you know, in the past year, really, with the amount of brand sponsorships we have had and the people that we've worked with, and really just getting that message across, people are really starting to see, okay, wow, this has a purpose. This
Right.
club should be here, and it makes sense. So,
Yes. Well, what I learned a long time ago is that you can have one or two things. You can have fat or you could have muscle. And if you're building up the muscle, then the fat doesn't really have any room, and that's good. So that means you can sneak some other stuff in there that you wouldn't normally be able to. And Also, it stays. I've had a barrage of things happen to me over the years. I'm a I'm 59. So a lot of things have happened to me as a woman. And luckily
you
I
look good for 59,
oh,
girl.
thank you. And
Thank
that was not a plug to do that. But what I'm saying is that I think that because I was doing the bodybuilding before, it has given me like that base to like weather all the other stuff that goes on. And I think a lot of folks don't understand that yes, you can have muscles and still be feminine.
Right.
Yeah, that's the part. I've had, people ask me like, well, what do you want to be, a man? Like what are you saying? Just because I
I
want to
know,
work
and you go to the gym or you tell people, oh, you want to come lift with me, and they're like, well, I don't want to be big. And
out.
I'm like, well, trust me, girl, it's gonna take a lot of work for you to get that
Yeah.
big. I
They
know
they
it sounds
think
like it might be easy, but
yes, they
yeah,
think you lift it twice and then suddenly you
yes.
like that's not how it works. That's not how it
And
works.
And I think that's almost just as good enough of a point to kind of be like, wow, we really don't educate our women enough about lifting. Clearly, if that's kind of
Right.
the mindset,
Yes.
then no one has ever sat down and been like, hey, actually, weightlifting is great for women because our bone density, when you start getting older, it crashes way more than it does for men.
Right.
Now, is that in part because men already are introduced to weightlifting and this is already a norm and a societal standard for them?
Yes.
Maybe. But
It is.
it's like,
Yeah.
right. I'm totally with you. And I really wanted to, be that person that's like, hey, just try it. Just try. You don't have to go bench 300 pounds, I
No.
promise. Just like do what feels right, do what feels good. And yeah, I think more women have been starting to realize, oh, wait, if I go lift twice, I'm not going to get huge and it's
Right.
not going to make me bulk up. Yeah.
Yes, you're not gonna come out and be like, oh, now you have total muscles everywhere. It's like that's not how it works. But okay. So all right, so you get these ladies together. Now you have a club of
Yeah.
weightlifting people. Like,
Yeah.
Do you guys compete? Well, how does this work? What's going on?
We ran into so many problems when we first started this club to the point where I would sit down sometimes and be like, why am I doing this? Why am I even trying? It was hard because we don't compete and they have way too many club sports as it is at Clemson.
Okay.
We are not allowed to use the gym on campus. We were
Oh,
denied kind of using any like gym or weightlifting space at
okay.
Clemson. And so that really kind of like ruined our whole plan because we thought we'd be able to get together at the gym, right, and teach ladies right at that gym and kind of get together there, and it just didn't really seem to be possible. So we really had to kind of make a switch on how we were going to bring all these women in, how we were going to unite them, connect them, and motivate them to maybe try something new. So it was a lot of going to gyms and being like, hey, I'm starting this thing. I don't have any money to give you, but I'm hoping that you will, appreciate the
See the
mission
vision.
me. Yeah, see the vision and kind of help us out. And so, along the way, we've worked with Max Fitness, we've worked with Core 24, just gyms around in the area, and other clubs with gyms. And so, really, every event looks so different.
Okay.
And at first, I thought that was going to be a negative thing, right? Because it would just be easier to get together in the gym and practice and then maybe go to a competition and compete.
Right.
But it really wasn't a viable, achievable thing anymore. And so we were like, well, what if we just kind of make this more of a community instead of making it so that it's like even more pressure to be good at weightlifting, to be strong, to be whatever? Like so many women, they don't know about weightlifting. They don't, no one ever has sat down and bothered to tell them or teach them about it. So we try to vary our events. We have weightlifting events, we love those, but we also have events that talk about how to create a split, how to meal prep, how to, maybe like do different workouts, how to maintain good form. But then we also have events that are like, let's, rent out a bar and let's all get together, or let's, go on a hike, or let's have a yoga class, or let's do something that, kind of goes beyond the weightlifting and really bonds us as women. That way, when we do need help and we do see these women in the gym, we're more comfortable asking them for help because
Beautiful.
that is the real kicker in the gym when you're alone and it's only guys around you and you need someone to spot you, you need some motivation. And that's really what I want these ladies to kind of be there for is, you see them in the gym and you're like, hey, we're in the same community,
Yes.
let's help each other out. And I feel like that also is really important to me because I think this narrative of, trying to compete against people, especially for women, has been so strong, right? We're always pressured to be the best. We're always
True.
pressured to, you know. And so I think it's really important that we just kind of come together as a community and be like, hey, I'm I have this strength, you have that strength. We're supporting each other. This is not a
Yes.
competition. This is a girl group.
Right. That's what I love about on show day. It's so funny because on stage it's still a competition, but backstage the competitors are helping each other, right? They're gluing each other, they're
Yeah,
fixing
exactly.
each other's hair and makeup, and it's amazing. Now, when they get on stage, it's back to war. But
Right.
off stage, they're like cheering for each other, and I love that part about it. Like that camaraderie is so amazing, and it's definitely like a feel good moment. That like you said, to be in the show, right? Because it takes weeks of training and discipline and just watching, seriously, like watching your body go through phases, not just the transformation, but just the whole process. When you stop and think about it, you're like, did I do that? Like, yes, that was me. Right. So I know no one wants to hear that maybe, but on show day, we always say to people, the fact that you're here because people drop out, people get sick, people have whatever the issues are. There are a lot of folks that don't even get to be at show day, right? So that's a win right there. And I know a lot of people like, oh, they're just saying that, but it's like, no, it's true. I mean, not only being there, I've gone to shows where people have left. Their nerves have gotten the best of them, and they sneak out. They're like, "Where you going? Where
Um,
where you going? Like you did all this prep and then you leave? Like, no, right?" So Yes, truly, truly, truly. I know it's a competition, but it's also a place, like you said, that you can find other like-minded, crazy folks that like doing these kind of things. And yeah, backstage we always try to keep it, friendly and upbeat. And I love when the competitors are like cheering for each other, and I don't inhibit them at all. I'm like, go for it. We
Right.
had one lady, I actually interviewed her on the channel, and I said I had to read her bio again because she brought a whole bunch of her sorority sisters, and they screamed so loud you could barely hear her music, and the music was pumping, but it was so, and we love that. We don't discourage you. You're not in the library. We were like, yes, yes. And you could see her, like, as she stepped out on stage, of course she was having fun, but when she heard all that,
Be
you could feel
confident.
the
Yeah.
energy of, yes, this is me and I'm here, and it was amazing. So she won our best poser actually that year,
Awesome.
and she tore up the house with that. She came out with it with such vivation. That's the word. It was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Right? You were like, okay, best poser. Okay, next thing. But
Hey,
I love how people, like you said, make the bonds, and
yeah.
it's sad that we have to kind of in retro teach women to be friends with other women,
Yeah. I know.
but it happens, and it's sad.
It does happen, and I think that sometimes it's hard to even like support people when you feel like you can't support yourself.
Yeah.
But I feel like, what's the chicken, what's the egg? You're gonna start supporting other people first, you're gonna start supporting yourself first. Which one is gonna kind of give back to you the fastest?
Okay.
So, I just always try to be that first person that can support somebody when they're coming into this community because I have support to give,
I'm
you
so
know.
loving your insights. No, seriously, you're like a senior. This is amazing. So yes, tell us about the club. How can people find you? How can they be a part of the club? What should they do?
Well, we always love to have people support. We have an Instagram. It's at Women Lifting Clemson, a little play on words there. So we're
Okay.
lifting Clemson. Um, we're working on making a TikTok, but I don't have that for now. But that's
Okay.
the best way you can find us. If you go to Clemson, obviously you can find us through like the Clemson clubs.
Yes.
So yeah, that's really how to like find us and reach us. We do a lot of stuff on social media.
Beautiful. All right, because yes, I know the people in the area are going to be like, okay, so I saw that thing. Where do I find you? So we'll be
Yeah.
sure to add all that information on there for you so they can reach out to you and make the club even wider. I ask people this all the time, like people who have done the show, like, okay, what's something from the start of your journey to the end of your journey or to right now that you see differently or you would like to leave as a word or two? What would you say, especially since you said you've gone through a couple of trials and tribulations there? Would you say to other people or other ladies or other men, we love the men too, about this journey for you so far?
I would say that just trust in yourself, trust in others, even if it's feeling unnatural, trust the vision, trust your gut because I had so many times where I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing this all wrong. The way that I initially envisioned it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work out for me. And then when you kind of just take some time and you go with the flow and you do trust people around you, especially if you have a good support system, things happen. I mean, we're at 500 members now in our club. We have done countless, we've worked with more than 10 brands probably. I mean, our exec board is growing. We have like 14 women on the exec team. We
Nice.
started an ambassador program, so we have something even separate than that. So it's like the vision, it just keeps growing and it really is added to when you have these really great people come in. And so that's another thing I definitely think looking for people, searching for people, getting to know people, networking has always been for me kind of like the saving grace of this club. It's always like adding someone new and then you add a little bit more to the club and you add a little bit more and you add a little bit more until it's bigger than you.
Right.
And then when it's bigger than you feel like, okay, like I can leave now. Like I'm done. Like the vision is there. And so it just makes me really proud to know that I just started something bigger than me, and I want it
Yes.
to keep going forever and ever.
Yes. Look at that. And you didn't mention yoga. We don't want to forget about the yoga for my
Yeah, we
people
don't
that do
want,
yoga.
well, so, I when I was kind of going through with my weightlifting journey, and I think a lot of girls sometimes go through that up and down, sometimes you lift too much and you think you're bulky, or you just get body dysmorphia, you're like, I don't want to lift or whatever. I kind of was going through and I was like, I really want to do yoga. Like, I need to work on my mobility, my flexibility, my breathing while I'm like doing certain moves. And I've realized how inaccessible yoga is for the standard person. Like, I don't have an extra $100 to $300 to spend to go to a yoga studio. For me,
Okay.
it's just not going to happen. So when I realized that most people at my school would go through the same thing, I was like, well, why don't we have a club for this? Like, this is a very like standard thing. Like, yoga's super popular. Why don't we have a club for it? So then, I was like, let me just start another one. So
I
I
love
did.
how you think. You're like, listen, I see a gap. Okay, let's fill this gap. Let's do it.
Right,
Let's do
exactly.
it.
So, luckily was able to work with another amazing woman who is a little bit more into yoga than me. So she really brings that mission. And I think I kind of bring that business, that drive to really, fill the gap, as you said. And so, yeah, we've been working. Our first event tomorrow is actually tomorrow. So I'm very excited. So we'll see how the turnout is. We've had like 300 people join the club so far. So I don't know if a lot of people are going to show up or if a little people are going to show up, but either way, I'm very excited.
And
The
where's it gonna
community,
be? I'm hoping we can get this edited in time, but where time, where, who, what, when?
it is going to be on Clemson campus tomorrow
Okay.
behind Cooper Library at 6 p.m. And we have a lot more, meetings and sessions going on. You can find us at the Clemson Yoga Club on Instagram, and all of our schedules are
Awesome.
posted there. And yeah, we've gotten amazing support from the community, just being able to find certified yoga instructors, right? Because
Yeah,
that's a whole other issue, right? Because you got to be certified, and I don't want anyone teaching that doesn't know what they're doing, and
right.
it's a lot. But yeah, well, I've just been so lucky, honestly. The people around me, they've just helped me so much, and really, I just have to thank everyone that's been a part of it.
Wow, that's amazing. So we're excited that you guys are coming. That's why I wanted to do this interview. That's why I wanted to talk to you. I want to, do whatever we can to market and promote you as well. And I'm looking forward to meeting you, of course.
Me
I'm
as
I,
well.
I don't know you, but I'm so proud of you. If I can say that, because a lot of people just notice a gap and just go, that's how it is. And you're like, okay, what's that? Let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it. I love that. That energy is amazing.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you so much. You were so inspiring to all women, period. I think you're amazing. I'm so glad that you guys do this bodybuilding show. I think it like again, it's a gap there. Like all the shows that I've heard or seen or talked about have never been done by women. It was never women were in charge.
Oh,
And we kind of have this flipped, and I like it, I feel like it's more like there's more drive to have brands over there and to talk to people and really get to know people. It's just a completely different, I guess, vibe, for lack of a better, more official word. But it's great, and I really like to that you guys are doing that. I mean, the fact that we got to be involved is amazing. Um, and we're really excited. I actually have a girl new to our exec who just competed in a powerlifting show. So
yes.
I really want her to come with us and kind of see what this show is like, to see kind of the similarities and differences.
Yes, yes. I think we're going to have to do a combination bodybuilding and powerlifting show. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
We have our
that
own expo. I'm just
exactly.
going to throw that out to the universe. Yes, I can
Right.
see it now.
Right.